Alright, so in this video I want to show you how some of the calculations are done, and we'll start out with finding the taxes owed. So if I know the taxable income, which is $100,250, and I know that you're married, then what do? I say, well, I need to look in the married table. The taxable income is is more than 75,300, but less than, but not over this. So I know I'm in this particular row right there. So I know to look in this spot in this table. So my taxes are equal to 10,367.50 plus 25% of everything over 75,300, which is 100,250 minus 75,300, and that of course will give me the 16,600. So that's how you would do it. If you're single, you're looking at the single table. Head of household, look in the head of household table. You want to know the taxable income, you look in the appropriate row, and then you do the taxes plus whatever percent of everything over that amount. So how can I make Excel do that? That's going to be a little bit different to make Excel do it. So you have to use VLOOKUP, and we'll have a different video where I show you how to use VLOOKUP. But what I want you to realize is you have a VLOOKUP for this number plus a VLOOKUP for the 25%, and then this is going to be referencing your taxable income minus another VLOOKUP. Putting too many O's in lookup, but anyway, that's it. So the way you find the tax is you use a VLOOKUP. It's going to treat the result of that VLOOKUP just like a number, and you just put that formula in. Alright, so of course you have to make decisions, right? Which table you look in, the single, the married, or head of household. So you're going to need to have some sort of if statement. So you're going to have something like, if you're single, and this is not the form that you would use, this is not the syntax, I should say, that you use, but you need to have something like this. If you're single, then you got to look up in the single table. So you have something to do, if you're true, if that's true, and you need to have a statement like if you're married, do something if that's true, then something if that's false. So you have some type of nested if statement that's going to tell you which table to look in. A couple more things with the calculation. Let me get this out of the way. If you are married, you get the standard deduction of 12,600. If you're single, 6,300. If head of household, 9,300. So that number has to be chosen, and that's based on this filing status. This filing status, I want to be from data validation. I don't want anybody to have to type this in, because if you type it in, someone can make a mistake. So it needs to be data validation from that. This number is just typed in, and then based on your filing status, you have an if statement to get the standard deduction. Then you type in the number of exemptions, and your taxable income. So I'll write right here, your taxable income is equal to your gross income minus your standard deduction minus the number of exemptions times the exemption amount, which is 4,050, and I guess your taxable income. Alright, just a couple more things here. Get this out of the way. I want to have a data table, and that data table is going to look like this, and I want to have zeros here. And when you first do it, it's going to give you NA, and you have to figure out why the NA is there. So that's kind of one of the challenges here. But I will give you a hint. We're going to have in the learning path all the skills, all the Excel skills that you need to use. So they'll be there. The one thing with the data table I want you to know, these numbers right here have to either be typed in by hand, typing literally 0 and 50,000, 100,000, or you have to use a start and increment value. You cannot allow these to reference back to there. So whatever these inputs are, these potential inputs I should call them, whatever that is, they cannot reference the original input. So this can't reference to that part, and this cannot reference there. So that's on paper how you, the last thing, the effective tax rate. The effective tax rate is, in this case, get the right number here, is the taxes that you owe, which is 16,605 over your gross income, which is 125,000. So that's your effective tax rate. When you build a model, you need to know on paper how to do every step of it. So there's on paper how we do every step of it. Now let's look at the different skills that you're going to need, and then you're going to take those skills and be able to build the spreadsheet yourself.